Portal can be described as a puzzle platformer with much less platforming. One way you can solve these puzzles is by picking up and setting down objects, typically weighted companion cubes. So what if we ask the question, can you beat Portal without dropping items? The answer to that is no. Sadly, there are a few items you must drop in order to progress the game. So what if we instead ask the question, what is the minimal amount of item drops required to beat Portal? Before we get started, a couple of rules. I wanted this challenge to be mostly vanilla, so there won't be any cheating or getting out of bounds or any major glitches or exploits. More on that one in a bit. Also, stick around until the end for an announcement about me streaming. Anyways, let's get started. Pretty early on is the first item we're meant to move. Drop this cube. You can just move it. Well, you'd be able to if you... Come here. There you go. Yeah! Oh, and then now I can tip it back over. Push. 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 You know you want to. Okay, I know this game can't be beaten without dropping items. I just didn't want to start this fast. Did that work?
Excellent.
Yeah, it did. Didn't have to pick it up.
First, however, note the
While it is pretty finicky, you are able to tilt the cube just right to be able to prop it up on the button a couple times and push it up. Believe me when I tell you, this took me longer than I'd care to admit. Apart from a couple mishaps here and there and needing the same button movement a whole lot of times, things were going relatively smoothly. With relatively being the key word here. For majority of the test chambers, at no point do you need to drop an item. Trust me, you get to a point where you wish you could, but you ultimately don't need to. It's not until chamber 16 that it starts to get a little stressful. These turrets, you're meant to drop stuff onto them or pick them up and throw them, but I think you can see the issue here. I decided that placing portals underneath objects was the best way to quote-unquote drop them onto enemies. I myself wouldn't be dropping them, but they would be pulled down by gravity, so it would work in my favor. That was until I came across a godlike turret that just would not go down. Then I remembered something. Or... what if... yeah, I can drop myself. Then I came across another issue that seemed to right itself. Hey, I'm gonna need you to like... oh, you don't have collision. Lovely. You do. After that, we head into chamber 17, where things go a bit downhill. The first part of this chamber requires you to use your companion cube to jump up to this higher platform a couple of times. With the first two jumps, we just need to move the cube over, but the next two we have to pick it up and set it back down, so that's one drop. Then we're meant to take it with us, which requires us to pick it up again, which leads to another drop later on. It was also at this point in the run that I decided that portal bumping was allowed because it would save on a couple of drops. But I will just portal bump. Because, like, might as well. That's not what I wanted. That's not at all what I wanted. Stop. I said stop. Okay, it's fine. After doing the portal bump, we come across another hiccup. I said, get in there. There's no way. I'm gonna cry. Instead of picking it up here, I decided to just reset the level, so after getting back here and getting the cube onto the button, we have to drop it one last time into the incinerator to continue on. Now for chamber 18. Usually with this one, you need to grab a cube and move it a couple times, resulting in a couple drops in order to progress. But we have speedrunning strats on our side. There's a camera on this wall, and we can use it to prop open the ending door to place a portal on the other side. So the usual strat is getting the camera off the wall with the portal, then carrying it over to the door before propping it up. Usually this would take 2 drops, one getting it over to the door, and one to position it correctly. So what if we try to take one of these off? I can place a portal underneath the camera to get it over to the door, then with some positioning, by walking on it, I can pick it up in the position I want, then prop it up against the door using only a single drop. This then allows me to place a portal on the other side, letting me through and continuing the game. For Chamber 19 and all of the sections where you're running through the facility, there's not a lot to talk about. Even during a casual playthrough, the player isn't required to pick up or drop any items throughout these parts of the game. The next challenging bit comes at the GLaDOS boss fight. Throughout the fight, GLaDOS will drop a total of 4 cores that you need to incinerate. All of them can be easily portaled into the incinerator once they're on the ground, but they need to be on the ground. After the first one, the other 3 are suspended in specific locations, and the only way to get them out of these specific locations is to pick them up. I couldn't find any other way around moving these things. After recording, I even tried going back and moving them with some furniture, but that didn't work. So that's another 3 drops. 1 for each core. And that's the game. I managed to beat Portal with only 7 total drops. Not gonna lie, whenever I got into this challenge, I figured it was gonna be more, but thankfully it wasn't. Now for the streaming announcement. I will be streaming this Saturday at 3 p.m. CST on my Twitch channel, which will be linked in the description. Not only that, you'll also find a link to a second channel I'll be making to house the videos from Twitch. I'm doing this as a backup because I know not everyone will be able to come to the streams, and not everyone uses Twitch, so this is a way for everyone to enjoy the videos, either live or after the fact. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, liking and subscribing would be a big help to the channel. Thank you. Have a good day.